St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussions seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
Check 1, 2.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
We are here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. Al Carlo and Matt Evancho. Glad you could join us for our D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. A great matchup tonight as we're in the South Division. The Eastern Red Rovers, perfect on the season. They are 3-0 and 5-0 overall, taking on the Vikings from Central Catholic. They come in with a record of 1-2 and 3-2 overall. And Matt, great atmosphere. We were here earlier today. Stroudsburg with a victory against Allen in a game that really went back and forth. The score doesn't indicate the level of play, but now in a nightcap, a great contest between two teams probably playing their best so far this year.
I think you're right, and it's just a matter of which team's going to show up for each team tonight. You know, you talk about Easton, and we talked to Coach Brado and how they were able to get out to some scoring starts, quick starts with some of the games. Last week they weren't able to, and they were in a dogfight. Talked to Coach McGorry. He said he doesn't think he's seen his team yet. He doesn't think he's seen the team that's going to be what they're capable of, but he said they're inching towards that each week and each day at practice. So I think we're in store for a great one.
So Jeff Brado in his third year, 22-9 for him, and coming off an unbelievable victory against Emmaus, 27-26. That game was really back and forth, but Emmaus had the lead. They came back, and Easton gets the victory. They persevere and stay perfect on the season. Najee Adams was held pretty much in check for the most part of that game, but the senior is already over 1,000 yards through 5 games. That says a lot about him, and that says a lot about his line.
Correct, and again, you said it perfectly. He was kept in check for the majority of that game last week, and as Coach Brado stated, he became a little frustrated, and they had to talk to him, just calm him down, and just tell him, listen, there's going to be games where that's going to happen. You know, you are the focal point of this offense. Teams are going to key on you, and I asked Coach Brado about it as well, and if there's any concern of him with the number of carries he's had throughout the season so far, and he said, we're going to do whatever we have to do to win games.
And on the other side, Tim McGorry in his first year, obviously won a championship, a state championship here when he was at Central Catholic, and was at Moravian, was at Lehigh, and coming back to his alma mater means so much for him. Coming off an easy victory over East Stroudsburg North, 50-12. But Matt Rauscher, their quarterback, only a junior, has already passed for 733 yards and 7 touchdowns. He also has 7 INTs. So when you look at his size and you look at the type of player he is, it's pretty impressive of what he can bring out there, especially tonight.
You're right, and I think the one thing in a coaching circle that people understand is, Coach McGorry, he's been around, as you said, he's Lehigh, Moravian, and he's been out recruiting players, and his biggest compliment to Rauscher was saying that he's a dude. That's one thing every college coach will say. If you hear that word, you know that kid's a player. And he also complimented the offensive line and being able to protect him a little more. If they can do that, those INTs drop, and he doesn't have to make quick throws. If he's given time, he can pick apart defenses.
Well, it's exciting for us to be a part of it. Once again, D11Sports.com, Game of the Week. We want to thank St. Luke's Sports Medicine for, putting us where we're at with our opportunity and getting these games on, doing 2 games in one day. We always say learning curves and moving forward, and we had a great game today, as we mentioned. We're excited about this matchup. They moved this game, by the way, to 7:30 at night because the first game started at 1:30. They wanted to make sure there's enough time to clean up the stadium to get ready for the second game. So a lot of people marching in wondering, why is the game at 7:30? That's mainly the main reason. But they seemed like they had everything ready to go, and the game could have started at 7 o'clock, but that's what they decided to do. But we're excited to be here. We're excited to, also have that opportunity to put our student reporters on the sidelines. And, today we'll have Joey Draper from Emmaus. Central Catholic will be starting to get some of their student reporters involved with D11Sports.com, but Joey's done a great job at Emmaus, and we'll be hearing from him shortly as the teams start making their way onto the field for the ready for this broadcast. So, Matt's excited. We're excited without question up here. And, Matt, one thing is I'm not going to say the first 5-6 minutes of this game, but what I will say is, the tempo and really the momentum of these two teams in the first 5-6 minutes of the game can really show where this game is going.
It can, and I'm kind of going back and forth. I don't know if we're going to see a quick start by both teams and just throwing everything out there, or will both coaching staffs kind of keep it a little vanilla at first just to feel it out a little bit and then start to open up a little bit more as we go. Coach Brado mentioned he wants to get a quick start. He wants his team to go because he feels they have confidence that way. Coach McGorry was the same way. He wants to get that offense out on the field. He wants them to go and get scoring some points because he said they have to score points. He needs that out of his offense.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Again, game is at 7:30 tonight, and should be an interesting matchup because when you look at what's ahead for these two teams as the Easton Red Rovers make their way onto the field, it's Bethlehem Catholic, then Parkland, Nazareth, the next three coming up after this, if I'm correct. And that's some big games for the Easton Red Rovers, and for Central Catholic, it's Emmaus, Liberty, Freedom. 3 of the next 4 games coming their way. So it should be interesting where we go with that, and obviously the chance for us to bring them forward. So we get ready. Both teams are on the field, and obviously an exciting time. Get ready for these 2 games. And while we're waiting on the national anthem and on Joey as well, let's talk about a couple other things. We mentioned this earlier today. The win last night from Parkland over Nazareth kind of puts everything in perspective. A team's getting healthy. Another team in Nazareth is very good. But that 6A classification, there's teams, and not these 2 teams because different classifications here, but this would be a huge victory for Easton because they would get a bunch of points. For Central, they would get a bunch of points with a victory over Easton.
Exactly. Not only do they get a bunch of points, but you look at it as a confidence builder as well. You also pointed out the fact of the next games for Central Catholic coming up. Emmaus is not going to be an easy one, especially when they're at Emmaus playing them. Then after that, they have Liberty at home. They have Freedom at home, and then they finish with Bethlehem Catholic. So they don't have an easy road from here on out. So this is a big game for them. If they can pull this one out, this will basically solidify their spot in the playoffs. Easton on the other side, I think they need it to continue to build their confidence. They're only getting better as the season goes on. If they can pull out a win tonight against Central Catholic, I think not only confidence-wise, but I think they put themselves in a position heading into the back half of their schedule, which is a bear. We talked about the other week, Lee Heighton's back half of the schedule. Easton goes up against Freedom, Bethlehem Catholic, Parkland, and Nazareth. All top teams in the league and all top teams in the South.
Yeah, and that should be interesting the way they go there.
Once again,
We expect to be a solid matchup without question between these 2 teams, and we're excited to be here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium. Again, a double dip here on D11sports.com, and if you're watching, tell your friends. Really exclusive coverage for this one. Right now, we pause and honor America. First with a opening prayer, and then the national anthem here from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on all of our participants tonight. Please allow the athletes to play to the best of their ability and to avoid all serious injury. Guide our coaches to serve as good examples to their team. Grant the officials a keen eye and good judgment, for without them, this game would not be possible. Inspire in all of the spectators a spirit of appreciation and support for all their young people performing here tonight, and at the conclusion of the game, please allow us all to return safely to our homes. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
So we get ready for this matchup, and on the field is Joey Draper on the sidelines as he gets ready to bring us in with his first report. And Joey Draper has talked to both coaches, Jeff Brado and also Tim McGorry. Down the field, and Joey.
Thank you for joining us here at Central Catholic hosting Easton Red Rovers. I am Joey Draper. I spoke to both coaches before the game, and Coach Brado of Easton told us that last week overcoming a 12-point deficit in the fourth quarter was really a good wake-up call for the Red Rovers. They said that their quarterback, Cole Transu, who is a sophomore, really grew up in that game, and he told us that looking forward into this game, Cole Transu is hoping to have a really big game and hoping to be the star of the game. On the other side, Coach McGorry, he said that the key for the win for Central will be finishing off drives, making sure the defensive line is able to stop Najee Adams on Easton, and making sure that third down conversions are huge for Central Catholic. And that is all from me so far tonight. I am Joey Draper. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Joey, thanks a lot. And, again, we'll get some of his reports throughout the rest of the night, and obviously a time for us to see these two teams, make their way out to the field and, put themselves in position for a game like this. And we said it on a number of occasions. When you play, and it's funny because both coaches talked about this, Matt. They both talked about, their line's big. Oh, their line's big. So guess what? The lines are big tonight.
They are. And I think we're going to see them. And we talk about some of the offensive linemen for Easton. The offensive linemen and defensive linemen don't always get the recognition that the skill players get. But you look at Easton's offensive line with right tackle Josh Arias, 6 foot 235. Right guard Joey Heckel, who's out tonight, 5'10", 205. Center Gio Rosso, 5'11", 210. And then on the left side, it just bumps up. Left guard Derek Frenzy, 6'3", 230. And then left tackle Patrick Shook, 6'3", 325. But then on the other side, you look at Central Catholic, and their offensive line is just as big. Left tackle Nick Reimer, 6'8", 300. Left guard John Feifeld, 5'11", 225. Center Ben Carbonetto, 6'3", 280. Right guard A.J. Colon, 5'11", 245. And then right tackle Michael Crounce, 6'4", 265, who's a freshman.
Not bad. Take a look at our keys to the game here for both teams, beginning with the Easton Red Rovers.
And Coach Brado mentioned this right off the get-go. They need to limit their turnovers. They've had a little bit of a turnover issue offensively. They need to contain that and get it back. And then he was also upset with his performance on special teams last week, giving up a kickoff return and some deep punt returns to Emmaus. On the other side, Central Catholic, they need to eliminate penalties and negative plays, especially in the red zone. He talked specifically about his game against Whitehall, getting in the red zone multiple times and not being able to close it out with touchdowns. And then they need to be able to tackle in defense. And I really appreciate the fact how he said when he first came in, his staff, they looked at what basics do we have to do to get back to. And he mentioned tackling. They went back to just teaching fundamental tackling for his team.
So we get ready. Both teams again a 7:30 start tonight because of the game earlier today between Allen and Stroudsburg. That game went to the Stroudsburg Mountaineers. Here, the nightcap on a Saturday here in week number 6. We are in the second half of the football season. I always say hard to believe, but it is hard to believe. Why can't we say that? We could say hard to believe.
And it's just amazing how fast it goes. I mean, when you looked at it, I had mentioned it early in the first game, how wonder what they're going to do in the second half, and I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, we are in the second half.
Yeah.
This is the second half, week 6.
Tyler Pastula has it on the tee at the 40 as we get ready, and we are underway from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown, and we'll start things off on the 20-yard line. So we'll have the offense come out for Central Catholic for the first time tonight, and the offense for the Central Catholic team is impressive because we talked about Rauscher. Rauscher brings size, and Rauscher is, one of those players that, can change the dynamics of a game as well. So, when we bring in their starting lineup, you can see those players, are in there. And, one of those guys that we talked about, is Rauscher, but it's other guys. It's McGorry. It's George Halavac. Got to make the plays. But you talked about the defensive guys for Easton. Those guys and, Gio Rosso, they're going to be busy. But, take a look at the secondary, and the secondary is where we're going to have to start watching this way. The quick toss to start things off to Jeremy Rivera, and Rivera breaks a tackle, and Rivera's got a first down as he goes about 16 yards on the first play of the game.
And I think you're right. It's going to be the skilled position. Coach McGorry feels pretty confident with the skilled kids that he has out on the field and how they can match Easton's ability athletically, here you get a look at that screen and Elijah Benton coming in with the tackle from behind. But he feels confident, and I think this is going to be Easton's biggest test athletically, facing a team that they haven't seen this season.
From the 37, on the ground they go. First ground attack, and not much there. Moving forward by Jaden Williams.
I think Coach McGorry, as this game goes on, if he can continually get 3, 4, 5 yards off first down, that's something that he's going to be happy about, as long as they can continue to stay in positive plays.
So they will indeed give him 3 yards. The ball sits at the 40-yard line. Glad you could join us here at D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Looking to throw near side, connects once again, and pushing forward for the first down is George Lavak. Now Lavak has himself a first down and came into the contest pretty effective as well, with 12 receptions for 100-plus yards.
And we see a lot of offenses working that on third down, second down. They run the hitch route where they run the receiver just past the first down markers, let them turn around, and it's just a matter of Rauscher being able to find his receiver quickly, deliver a ball that's catchable, and let him turn and make what he can and get the first down.
From their own 48-yard line, Rauscher from the gun. They will stay on the ground once again, trying to drive through and nowhere to go. A lot of white jerseys coming through, and the first guy in was Derek Frenzy from the Easton Red Rovers.
And I think what we'll miss on that one is he doesn't get credit for the tackle. Number 66 from Easton, Donovan Lance, comes from the defensive tackle. He's the one that disrupts it in the backfield originally, and then Frenzy's the one who comes to finish it off.
Second down 9, a short pickup of a yard. Rauscher's going to throw. Here comes the rush. He gets popped as he throws that one. Actually, they went up high on the shot, and I believe that first guy in was Don Falcone. And one thing I like about that, it was a hard hit. At the same time, Falcone, tapped him afterwards, kind of the old, "Are you okay?" I think that's what he was saying to him.
I believe he was, and you kind of miss on that one. Umpire Tom Halisack gets pegged in the head with the ball. That's what ricocheted it. But he didn't. Rauscher had a receiver streaking down the middle that he was looking for.
Big play here, third down from the 49. Here comes a rush and a huge sack by R.J. Gisler.
And Gisler's having himself a fantastic season coming off the edge. That's going to be the matchup. We talked about the size of both of these offensive lines. What the key is going to be is, can that size go and play with the speed of the other's defensive line? That time we're looking at, for Central Catholic, left tackle Nick Reimer, who's listed at 6'8", 300 pounds, who has quick feet and is athletic, but can they stick with the speed and athleticism of an Easton defensive line?
And they come up and they knock that one away, and it goes right into the hands of Zion Jones, and Zion Jones scores the touchdown. Wow. So the block punt, and we'll take a look at it again.
Get a good look at it. This is a rush from the get-go, and it's coming up from 46, Liam Wells. He's the one that gets his hands up, gets the block, and then it goes right into Zion Jones' hands, and he returns it for the touchdown. So Coach Brado wanted to come out and improve special teams from last week. I think it's safe to say this is a good start for them special teams-wise.
We asked him prior to the game, your special teams. He said last week played well. Weeks prior, last week.
Last week didn't play well. Weeks prior, he was pretty pleased with the play of his special teams, but last week just gave up too many big plays, and they couldn't get the rush. This looks indicative of the Liberty game, where they were able to get a lot of pressure on punts and really force the Liberty punter into some bad situations. Looks like they're looking to bring that pressure again tonight.
So you look at, right there to start things off, a 7-0 score, but, Central driving perfectly, running past, doing effectively. All of a sudden a big, sack on the play by Gisler, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they go to punt it. A great job there by Wells, and then, Zion Jones just in the right place at the right time. The ball didn't even bounce. It just popped right into his hands, and he coasted in about 20 yards for the return.
Correct, and this is not the start for Central Catholic, but again, we always say it. very early in the game, but to be behind Easton 7-0 at this point, and Easton's offense hasn't even touched the field yet, that's a big concern.
So 9:15 on the clock. First touchdown in the books, and it comes off special teams. And that starts from the 6. Still some space, trying through. Hlavac on the return. And we'll see the offense come out once again for the Vikings. You know, one thing when you look at, George Hlavac, and, you see the space. You think he has it, and then boom. Those white jerseys close in on him pretty quick.
And it's the kickoff coverage that was a big concern coming out of last week for the Easton Red Rovers. Looks like they were able to, with the touchback on the first kick and then corralling Hlavac for the tackle on that one, was a focus, and they looked like they were taking it to heart tonight.
From the 38, near side, Hlavac again, and they try to strip the football away, and he gets buried to the ground after a pick of about 5.5.
If you're Central Catholic and your offense, that's exactly how you want to start the play. Start the series with some positive yards, putting yourself second and short almost, giving yourselves a whole lot of options to attack this Easton defense.
Second down and 4 from the 38. Rauscher keeps it on the ground. And the dive forward by Leroy Johnson is good enough for the first down.
Leroy Johnson comes in with 20 carries, 104 yards on the season. He was looking to bounce that to the right side, but just falls into his lineman and gets tripped up, not able to keep his feet to get any extra yards.
From the 42, Rauscher, he gets drilled again and then lets that ball loose, throwing a flag. So far it's been advantage on intentional grounding here, advantage the line for for Easton. They've done a great job to this point.
They have, and that time it was the linebacker, Tamir Jackson, number 8, coming on a blitz. He was untouched into the backfield of and Rauscher had nowhere to go. And that's one of those situations Coach McGorry will talk to him about, and that's just one you need to eat. You can't afford to give up that penalty. Because not only do you lose the yardage, but then you also lose the down as well. So this puts you in second and long just as you were moving some things.
Yeah, the first down marker, if you're wondering, is at Easton's 48-yard line as the ball sits at the 27. And Coach McGorry is going to have to call a timeout here. And this is the early part of the game, the early part of the first half, where you're getting the timeout. Great crowd. Easton's crowd, always follows well. We saw what happened at Cottingham Stadium last week. I know Joey took a picture of it, went viral. He had 13,000 views, with Cottingham is rocking or shaking or whatever, and it really was. But, the Central faithful and their student body always do a good job here. To support not only their football team but their basketball teams and other teams, and we love when the student bodies get out there and show their support for their fellow athletes and fellow schoolmates.
Absolutely. I think what it does, it makes the game more exciting for everyone involved, not only the players, because they've, as much as you don't agree or believe in it, the players do feed off of that a lot. When they see that their teammates or classmates out there supporting them, it makes it for a more family-type atmosphere.
Again, first down marker sitting at the 48-yard line, the ball at the 27, trying to get some of this back, maybe not all at one shot. Rauscher gets flushed out of the pocket, trying to look to throw, but there's nothing there, and now he goes backwards. And when you start turning and going the other way, things are a little bit different. And a couple guys in there, and the first guy that made the tackle was Dom Falcone once again.
Yeah, Dominic Falcone comes from behind, chasing Rauscher down as he gets flushed out, originally flushed out by the two defensive ends, and then Don Falcone comes out of coverage to come up and gives Rauscher nowhere to go as he had Derek Frenzy chasing him as well.
Third down in the football field for them 17. It's third down and 32. Rauscher, he throws middle part of the field in traffic, and that one is almost intercepted as it ricochets off a couple of Easton players. And the first guy that actually tapped it was Chase Holmes.
And Chase Holmes tapped it, gets to it, taps it up. Two safeties came in and converged on that, and then number 14, Elijah Benton, hustling downfield, nearly comes up with the interception. And I hate to make the joke of this, but Central Catholic's going to try to punt for a first down.
Yeah, right. So fourth down and 32. Chris Matajak from his own 6. And he gets this one off, and this will be fielded right at the 46-yard line. And taken by Alvin Fries. And great field position for Easton. This is actually their first offensive possession. So, you know, we didn't see them yet, so because of the kick.
Yeah, that time they're better punt protection by Central Catholic, giving them time to get the kick out, and very good coverage. Did not give Easton any kind of room to get their punt return going.
I'll take a look at the starting lineups for the Easton Red Rovers. And, you know, for the Red Rovers, Cole Tranzu, you know, has done a great job, you know, manning the fort, obviously. And Tamir Jackson, one of the favorites, you know, for Coach Brado. Loves what he does. And then defensively, you know, some of these guys are going to get tested. But those linebackers are going to do the job when it comes to, you know, Central Catholic. So this is the first time we're seeing, you know, these guys make their way onto the field because, you know, of the punt return, the block punt for the touchdown. But Najee Adams, through 5 games, over 1,000. That does say a lot.
That does. I mean, it says that he's doing a real nice job running the ball. 2, he's also getting a lot of opportunities. One thing he has to do is make sure he does not let himself get frustrated. As we said earlier, teams are going to key on him. They're going to try to take it away from him, try to force Easton to throw the ball to beat them. So he has to be patient and just get what he can, hold on to the ball, and just be patient with it.
Second down and 7. Adams try to bust to the outside, but nothing doing. Green jerseys all the way for the Vikings. Again, solid receivers for this core as well. Assad Brown, Chase Holmes, you know, 2 of the guys that really have led the way, you know, with receiving. You know, Chase Holmes with 21 receptions, Assad Brown with 18, Kyle Evancho with 4, and 5 for Tamir Jackson, and Falcone has a couple. So if they want to go, you know, wide, they can. Third down and 8 from the 48. This is a big play defensively early in the game here for the Vikings. Transu all the time in the world, and that one is almost intercepted. He was looking downfield for Chase Holmes, but that one was well overthrown.
Yeah, he had Chase Holmes coming open on a curl route to the inside, about 12 yards down the field. Had the first down, but just overthrows him a little high. Nearly picked off, but luckily out of his hands.
Tyler Pastula back to punt from his own 37-yard line. This is one that's going to be fielded right at the 10. And taken to the outside. Great job by Hlavik. Hlavik has some space down the sidelines and trying to make the turn of Willie. A great return by George Hlavik down inside the 30-yard line. So far, the difference in this game has been special teams.
It has, and we always talk about the difference here. This is just George Hlavik getting upfield quickly. A note to any punt returners, kick returners seeing this tonight. That's what you want to do. You can't just take it gingerly into the return. You have to catch the ball, hit the return, full speed. Just take what you see. He saw an opening, bounces to the outside, and credit Tyler Pastula staying and keeping leverage, using the sideline as his friend to run Hlavik out of bounds.
So a 62-yard return to the 28-yard line. Comes with 5:12 on the clock. And a little more space here for the Vikings to operate in. From the 28. Gets hit as he throws, but connects on the pass play to the near side and completes it to Jeremy Rivera.
Easton defensively has to make sure they come up and they do a nice job tackling. Rivera nearly comes out of that and breaks the tackle on the feet, they have to make sure they come up and wrap up these Viking offensive players or they're going to hurt them deep.
Clock inside 5 minutes, a pickup of 6 by Rivera. They'll split the receivers wide, far side. To the near side is Hlavik. And to the ground they go, and nothing doing as coming flying through again is Tom Falcone. He's been very busy tonight.
He has. He just runs through from his linebacker spot again. The Central Catholic offensive line is having a difficult job picking up these linebackers from Easton and where they're coming from. Easton's keeping them off balance, not giving them any kind of clue where these guys are coming from, and they're coming through free to make tackles in the backfield.
7-0 your score. Only points came and a block punt for Easton at the 9:15 mark. It's 3rd down and 7 from the 28-yard line. Rauscher. Play action, going to try to take it himself. Now tosses it and will complete the pass inside the 20-yard line. I think it's going to be short of the 1st down as he got it to Rivera once again. They're going to mark this a 1st down.
I got to give credit to head referee Larry Eichland. He has some good eyes down there. That's probably the 5th time today. We had him with the earlier game and now with this one where he saw some close marks that he's given 1st downs to, so he must be see it well.
So you're seeing he's got some pearl vision.
I think he does.
I can't even see who you're talking about. Who are you talking about? 1st down and 10, the ball down to the 18-yard line with 3:06 left on the clock. Rauscher will give that one up. Trying to gain some yards on the ground, but nothing doing. That interior line for Easton is not giving up anything at this point.
And there was a miscommunication up front where Central Catholic had 2 offensive linemen run into each other, both pulled, one going to the left, one going to the right, which knocked off the other guy pulling, which gave him no room to run the ball.
So it's 2nd down and 12, the ball at the 21. They'll go with 4 receivers, 3 split far side, 1 to the near side. As clock winding down to 2:27 and counting, Rauscher with a high snap, and will gain a couple of those yards back on the catch by Hlavik to the near side. Again, only points of the game, a block punt by Liam Wells led to a Zion Jones 20-yard recovery for a touchdown.
So far tonight, Hlavik's been the go-to guy for Central Catholic.
Third down and 7. Rauscher has a little more time, back in the end zone, and what a grab. The touchdown by 18 yards to Hlavik. That was impressive. Great throw, great catch.
And that's just an athletic play. We can't sit here and say that the Central Catholic receivers have a height advantage or they're taller receivers. Now, granted, Hlavik's a little bit taller than the Easton defender there, but it's just a matter of him going up and making a play on the ball. He's been, as I just said, he's been the go-to guy for Central Catholic tonight. They have not yet gone to their leading receiver, Jack McGorry, with 22 receptions. So Hlavik coming in with 12 has really been the go-to guy for them.
Chris Matichak with the extra point, and that one is up, and that one is no good. And we'll see how that plays a factor. But the 18-yard touchdown pass from Rauscher to George Hlavik, and we got ourselves a nice game here, 7-6, and a good way of rebounding for Central Catholic. And it really all started with that kick return by Hlavik, set them up. When you start and you go 62 yards, a lot of credit to number 3. He was that drive.
And you go back even to play before that punt return. It's the Central Catholic defense who was able to slow down and kind of corral Najee Adams in the Easton offense, not giving him any room and forcing that punt and then setting up their offense. And we knew coming into this was going to be a tight game. Central Catholic coming in at 3-2, their record does not really indicate how well they're playing. When you look at their record, they lost to Parkland 14-8. Talking to some of the Central staff down there, they felt that game was robbed from them. They felt there was some questionable calls late in the game where they very easily could have scored. and then the other one was against Nazareth where they lost 49-7. So right now that's probably the only game where they just weren't in. Other than that, they very easily could be sitting here at 4-1.
This one fielded right at the 5-yard line, up towards the 15, and tripped up there, right at the 20-yard line. So with 1:39 on the clock, Easton will take over here from there. I actually marked this one down at the 19-yard line for their second possession here in the first quarter.
Easton came out last offensive series with 2 straight runs, then a pass on 3rd down. See if they mix it up a little bit, try to go pass earlier or some play action, and use Najee Adams as a decoy to help open up a little bit more of this passing game for Easton.
First down for the Red Rovers. Tranzu looking to throw and tried to get through a little seam, but there was nothing there. And so far defensively, Central Catholic doing a pretty good job tonight. One of the guys in there, Christian Spignardi for the Vikings. As we're closing in on the final minute of quarter number 1. I want to thank Scott Koopman, the athletic director at Allen, and also Dennis Sensit, the athletic director of Central Catholic, as Najee Adams goes absolutely nowhere. And Central Catholic showing that line is effective against Najee Adams.
And it's the same thing I said earlier with Easton's defensive front. They're very athletic going against the bigger offensive line of Central Catholic. Here again, you have the athleticism of Central Catholic's defensive front, and going against the bigger size of Easton, they're just able to get through and make plays in the backfield, and they're not letting them take the angles and get their hands on them, and they're beating them to the punch.
Likely the last play of quarter number 1. 3rd down and 12. The ball sits at the 17. Tranzu waits a snap. Now rolls. Going to try to come near side, and he will connect. And actually, there'll be another play as he hits Kyle Evancho for the reception. And Evancho goes out of bounds. Actually, they kept it going there, so the first quarter will come to an end. So one complete from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. You're watching the D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Back after this.
Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
So one in the books as we welcome you back here to J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. Exclusive coverage of this matchup between Easton and Central Catholic. And Matt, your thoughts of the opening quarter play?
I think it's what we expected. You know, we're seeing out of Central Catholic a lot of athleticism. Usually you see Easton come out and their athletes are usually a little bit above the other team, but this time Central Catholic's just matching them step for step, and they're playing fantastic defense. I think that's the biggest thing. It's going to come down to which defense is going to step up more. I don't think we're going to get a lot of points scored. I think we're going to have a defensive struggle tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens. You're usually wrong, so we'll see.
That was only 19 years of coaching that I was wrong. 19 years of coaching, 10 weeks a season, so 190 games. A lot of mistakes.
A lot of wrong mistakes, yeah. They almost go for the block punt. They don't get it. This one, if it goes through, is going to get a heck of a roll, and it will. How about this one? Inside the 20, it's going to roll down to about the 17-yard line.
So you're looking at a kick that went from the 24-yard line of scrimmage, to the 17. So Tyler Pastula for Easton does a nice job special teams-wise, flipping the field position. Now it's going to be the defense's job to come out and return the ball back to the offense.
7-6 your score. A block punt for a touchdown for the Easton Red Rovers and an 18-yard pass from Matt Rauscher to George Halavic. Extra point was wide. And that's where we stand, 7-6. They'll throw near side. And a lot of room if he gets through. Won't get through, but driven upfield for an extra, 8-9 yards on the pass completion to Javon Robinson.
And that's one thing as a coaching staff, especially a defensive coach, you don't want your safeties to have to make a lot of tackles. And this time it was Chase Holmes coming over, making the tackle. He's been involved quite a bit on the running game tonight.
So the ball just like that up to the 33-yard line. Rauscher has time, and as they say that, it closes on him, and he can never get it off. They try to get the ball away from him, but he hangs on to it.
And fortunate for Central Catholic, he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, not losing any yards as he was looking, or he looks like you lose 1 yard on the play, but he felt the pressure coming from behind. He escapes the pocket, but knows the pressure's coming and knows when it's about there. He pulls the ball in so that he doesn't lose it.
Second and 11 for the Vikings.
Three receivers lined up top for Rauscher. He's going to throw in that direction, gets Halavic. Halavic follows his blocker in front, looks for that first down marker, gets driven down to the ground across the 40 up towards the 42-yard line.
This is going to bring up 3rd and short. Their Central Catholic's offense has found something they like to go to with that quick screen out to the 3 receiver side. Easton's putting 2 defenders over top of it and a safety deep, and you have to credit the receivers out wide. The inside receivers taking the one defender, pushing him to the inside. The other receivers taking the other defender, pushing him outside. And then the Central Catholic receivers just finding that seam right up the middle, and then that's where Chase Holmes as the safety comes in.
3rd down and a long 2. The ball at the 41-yard line. High snap to Rauscher. And he's going to try to run for this. He saw such an opening, but that opening just caved in real quick.
And coming up with that sack was number 56, Derek Frenzy of Easton. As you said, Rauscher had an opening, and he just barely got out of that, but Derek Frenzy quick enough to bring him down.
So Central Catholic will now have to punt the football. Chris Matejcik from his own 25-yard line. And bobbles that one. Going to have to get that one off. Wow, does an absolutely tremendous job to get that one off. And the ball roll back around the 40-yard line. I'll probably mark it around the 41. But that could have been disaster once again.
That could have been. You have to credit him for getting the ball, scooping it up, and getting the kick out. And actually a pretty decent kick for Central Catholic to put it over the other side of the 50.
So 8:59 left in the opening half of football. 7-6 is your score. If you're just joining us here on D11sports.com, this is our high school game of the week. Actually, we have a couple of them today. We've been here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. Saw a 41-21 victory by Stroudsburg over Allen earlier today. And you can go to D11sports.com and rewatch that one if you'd like. That one was much closer than the 20-point swing indicated. And here we are tonight. Next week we'll be back at Pocono Mountain West for Pocono Mountain West and the Deer of Huskies. Looking to throw. Transzoo, first time going downfield, and that one is intercepted. They went for it, and they got the INT, and it's Kyle Schenkel who comes up with the INT, I believe.
This is the second time on first down. Easton goes with play action. Transzoo has a lot of time, just underthrows, frees a little bit.
Jalen Green came up with the INT,
He makes a very nice play coming back on the ball, catching up to the receiver, then finding it and getting up and high pointing the ball.
The cheerleaders will be walking around raffling off Smart TV to benefit the Vikings football program. The winning ticket will be
So a big play at the
announced
8:50 mark.
Support Vikings football.
Defensively by Green with the interception.
First down, Central Catholic.
Central with 2 first downs. It's still early here in the second half, but just if you're wondering, 3. That play had disaster written all over it from the start, Matt. And they were fortunate that the ball was not popped out.
Exactly. First, it was Liam Wells, number 46, who had the block punt earlier in the game. He comes in, but it wasn't necessarily the defense. It was more the timing from the backfield between Johnson and Rauscher just seemed a little slow to develop and allowed Wells to just make the play. And then it was Tamir Jackson who came in and finished it off.
Second down and 15. First down marker all the way up to 34. Rauscher to throw. And a gun comes to the near side. That one is incomplete. A little low on the pass to Hlavik.
Not sure if it was the pass rush of Easton or just Rauscher going a little bit faster than he wanted to, not able to step into it enough to deliver the ball. But he had Hlavik, who was going to get a big gain and give him a 3rd and short, but it just comes up a little bit short on the pass.
Tim McGorry hoping his offense can refuel here on 3rd down and 15 from their own 18-yard line. Rauscher throws and connects and gets some of that back to the completion of Hlavik. Hlavik, for the most part, anything thrown in his direction, he's eating it up.
He has. Other than the one ball that was thrown short, he's able to get that one. And you credit Easton's defense and Assad Brown, who just played off enough, let him catch the ball in front of him and come up and secure the tackle.
The take begins to punt for the Vikings. Number 20, Aiden Freed.
So Matejcik in to punt once again for Central Catholic.
All right, this is going to be a first, Al. Looks like we have a ball exchange that the ball's too deflated or too much air.
Brady's in the house.
Right away.
I'm just going to
right away.
He's my fantasy quarterback, by the way.
There is no deflate gate tonight.
No. Just making sure that, if he was in the house or not, that's all. We are at Andre Reed Field. So.
I was going to say that, the AFC North. Wow, good kick.
How about this one, getting a roll? And they'll mark it at the 23-yard line. And with that, take a look at the Eastern Red Rovers. And, where have they been? We had their first game 1 against Pocono Mountain West. They won 40-21. But, boy, was that a tough game for them, coming in. That game was tight. At one point it was, I believe, 21-16. 46-28 over Whitehall, 55-0 over Durham, 44-7 over Liberty, and then Emmaus last week, 27-26. Next week, Freedom, then Becca, then Parkland, then Nazareth. That's huge.
It does not get any easier. I think that schedule probably rivals what we mentioned about Lehighton last week.
And the defense coming up big.
And once again, it's coming back to the defensive front of each team, just controlling the line of scrimmage. That time it was number 51 for Central Catholic. Ben Carbonetto. He's the one getting the pressure in the backfield, bringing down Assad Brown for the loss.
So 2nd down and 16, 6:30 on the clock. Transu it all the time in the world to make that pass. It'll end up going for, 3.5 yards or so, Matt?
We'll get a little more since they were back.
Yeah, that's correct, yep.
They were back 6, so that's a gain of 9. And again, just like Easton on the previous series defensively, that time Central Catholic, they know it's 2nd and 16. They're going to play back and let you catch the ball in front of them and then just come up and make the tackle, but they have to make sure they come up and secure the tackle.
Well, Matt, you predicted a low-scoring affair, and right now that's exactly it. That said, after this play, what have you seen differently from Easton from the first game of the year that we've seen against Pocono Mountain West to tonight, how they have improved when it comes to Cole Tranzu, their quarterback?
I think it's just his poise and his confidence. He's not afraid to take chances and throw deep. Now, we also were told, Coach Brado did say that he's not afraid. He's not afraid of the big moments, and he's been out there playing in the big moments since week 1, and he's going to continue to do that, and he's going to continue to take chances down the field. I think it's what he's growing into with what he becomes after he makes a mistake. So he threw the interception earlier in the game. Then he came back and he continued to just run and he turned the page, let it go. Last week, Coach Brado mentioned 3 minutes left in the game. They're driving. They're trying to score. They're behind. He throws a key interception. He very easily could have packed it in, said, this is it. I'm done. The game's over. He regrouped with his team, came back out, and they score late in the game to go up and eventually win. So it's just that character that he's growing as a young man.
Yeah, that pass play just missed to Assad Brown.
And we have a flag back here.
So this one going to go against the Red Rovers. You may want them to re-kick this, no, Matt?
It looks like that's what they're telling them they want to do.
I mean, I would. So 5:30 on the clock. 7-6 your score. If you're just joining us here on D11sports.com, the game of the week, a block punt by Liam Wells. Zion Jones recovered it, went in for about 20 yards to make it 7-0 Easton. And then George Olavic on a kick return went 62 yards to the Easton 28. That led to an 18-yard touchdown by Rauscher to Olavic to make it 7-6.
It looks like we have a discussion with the officials determining, does the 10-yard penalty get marked off on the kick or does it get marked off on where the ball was downed? And they are bringing it back to make them re-kick from the 10 yards from the point.
We believe they are.
Well, they brought the ball back.
Yeah, they brought the ball back.
There's no spot downfield.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on D11sports.com. Al DiCarlo, Matt Evancho, Joey Draper, Dave Micah is doing our social media as he always does, interacting with our fans. Again, check us out. Tell your friends. Get a chance to see games like this anywhere on your iPad, iPhone, wherever you're out and about. And I know we've got people from out of state in Montana and Florida and Indiana. And I think, we've been talking about this. The grandparents that can't come to a game, they can just sit back, relax, wherever they are, and they can get in and watch the game.
Correct. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't say our fan from Montana is actually the sister of Easton's quarterback, Cole Tranzu. She's out there watching it. I know I have a friend in North Carolina watching it with my goddaughter. So this is a great opportunity for those from the Lehigh Valley who want to catch up on the sports. This is a great way for them to see it, especially when they're out of the area.
From his own end zone, right at the 48. And still on his feet. Olavic. Ball almost bounced out. Good job of holding on to it. Great field position here for the Vikings.
And
the return.
Really, Olavic almost broke that one as well. Just nearly comes out of that. He's just so elusive back there.
So the ball at the 38. If you're Central Catholic right now, you get a block punt earlier against you, and you're down 7-0. You score a couple drives ago, make it 7-6. You have an opportunity here with 5:17 left in the first half to take the first lead of the game.
And Central Catholic has really been winning the field position battle. They've had this offense on the short side of the field for most of the game.
Rauscher going to try to cut the angle. There's a flag thrown in on that play.
And I think they're going to catch Easton with a face mask on the tackle. So that's going to add 15 more yards on, and these are some mistakes that Easton needs to kind of clean up. They can't keep making these mistakes and expect to come out of them on top.
That's a huge penalty, the biggest penalty of the game to this
Absolutely,
point.
yeah, because you look at this is going to put them inside the 20. And that's something you don't want to give this Viking offense a short field like that.
Well, Matt, you talk about it. First, the holding on the initial punt. You had a punt from your own end zone, and now all of a sudden add 15 to it.
Yeah, when you look at that punt, actually, good point bringing that up. The ball was down to like the 25 originally. Now they got the ball inside the 50. That was almost a 30-yard difference.
Yeah, plus add this 15 here. Big difference in field position. Now all of a sudden 1st and 10 from the 18. At the 5-minute mark, Rauscher has time to throw. Rauscher does not have time to throw. Things change and just, wow. He really tosses that one pretty good.
That was coming to his left off his back foot and able to still get a lot on that to get to the receiver. But shows his elusiveness out there as well. But I think that's, we were talking about that just before that play. That's one of the things I think most people don't realize. You look at, all right, Easton had a holding penalty. That's only 10 yards. But really that 10 yards, how did that affect the overall change from one play to the next? And you're looking at 35, 40-yard difference. That's more than just a 10-yard penalty that goes down in the stat book.
From the 18, they'll do this again, and they'll go on the ground. They'll try to attack. And we haven't seen that much run here in the last couple drives. They've been, passing the ball a little bit more. And, we get to see the running game again, opening up a little seam for some positive yards.
And when they do go to the run, they're going to Leroy Johnson, who's really been doing a nice job this season, just over the last few weeks, getting his chance to getting his carries, 20 carries, 104 yards. Still has yet to get in the end zone for a touchdown, however.
So the ball sits at the 11. They can get a first down at the 8. Johnson again in the backfield. And Johnson will take it. Johnson cuts to the 10 and will move the chains for a 1st and down. It'll be 1st and goal here for the Vikings.
And that's a nice run by Johnson. You're not going to see that on a highlight reel of his or anything, but I think that's one thing Coach McGorry and the coaching staff is going to look at and say, here, look at this, guys. Here's a kid that he could have tried to jump to the outside, but all he knew was his team needed a first down. He stuck his nose, got north-south, took what he could get, instead of trying to bounce out and then potentially letting the speed of Easton catch him and drive him back and lose yardage.
Just wanted to call that a first down before he did because he's got the good vision and I don't.
Exactly.
And it took him a while to make that call, but he did. So 1st and goal from the 8 for the Vikings. 3:56 on the clock. Johnson in the backfield. Rauscher to throw, and that one in traffic. Never a chance, and that one's picked off. The INT to Chase Holmes. And Holmes racing down the field gets a block, and just like that, you're going for a touchdown. Instead of Chase Holmes returns that one 58 yards to the 45-yard line.
I don't know what it is, Al. Is it this field where we're getting interceptions on the goal line? We had a 101-yard interception return by the Canaries today that was called back, but still you credit him with a 101-yard reception or interception. This time, all I saw were 2 Easton defenders sitting there waiting for that ball, and it was Chase Holmes who came up with it and brought him back, and this is going to be key with just a little over 3 minutes left in the game. Can Easton get something going offensively and put a score on the board early or late in this half?
So Easton now from the 45, on the ground they go. Najee Adams, and Adams close to the first down. Matt, you're right. I mean, the ball, you're sitting at the 8-yard line, maybe ready to go in, but I didn't see any green jerseys on that pass play. That was just, all white, and, coming up with it was Holmes.
And I think that can turn around and be a big play in this game. If Easton's able to get some points here, I mean, you're looking at potentially a 10 to 14-point swing in Easton's favor.
2nd down and 2. The ball at the 37. Adams dodges the first guy and will move the chains as he gets inside the 35 down to about the 33-yard line.
And you have to credit again that Central Catholic defensive line coming up and creating some havoc in the backfield, not letting Adams get started, and then the rest of them just coming to make the plays after he gets a few yards. They're just not letting him get that full head of steam coming downhill.
From the 33. He'll stay with number 2, and he gets tripped up.
Adams on the carry, gain of 4.
And that's going to be one. Najee Adams wants back. He had an offensive line that came off the ball pretty well on that play. They doubled up on all the defensive linemen, had a good push, and he just tried to cut back inside and stumbled on his feet of his fullback, Tamir Jackson. But he had a huge lane heading towards the end zone.
So we are right at 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-6, Easton on top of Central. Driving the ball, sits at the 28-yard line. 2 receivers lined up far side. They're going to toss in that direction, and they'll complete the pass. And pushing forward for a couple more yards is Alden Freeze. And the clock will wind, still at 1:37. Easton does have 3 timeouts remaining. But right now, a third down and about 2.5.
So if they can get moving here, get the first down, that'll stop the clock after the first down, and then try to get quickly up on the ball, down it, to save that timeout so you can use it later on inside of a minute.
3rd and 2. They know the ball is going to number 2, and the extra effort forward, I believe, will give them enough for the first down.
Looks like Easton will decide to use their first timeout here as opposed to spiking the ball.
And it is the first down, so the clock stops with 1:06 remaining.
Timeout on the field, Easton. Previous run resulted in Easton first down.
But you're right. Earlier today, we saw some big interceptions, some goal line plays, and you're Central and you're driving. You get the ball to 8-yard line, the INT, and ready to go in to take the lead. Now all of a sudden you're trying to prevent to go behind further than 1 point.
I think the Viking defense has to come up big on this series here.
Well, for the Vikings, they beat Stroudsburg 21-7. They lost to Parkland and Nazareth in week 2 and 3. Then Whitehall 16-50 on a win, 50-12. But going down the stretch, they got Emmaus on the road, Liberty and Freedom home, and then Bethlehem Catholic. So we mentioned it before. Both teams with a huge part of their schedule coming up.
Correct, and Emmaus coming off a big win against Liberty last night. They're setting up for a nice finish to the season as well. Anything can happen in this EPC South division, and it's going to end up being, I think, who can stay healthiest the longest.
1st and 10 from the 23, a $1:06 left, 7-6 Easton. Looking to throw, Tranzu, and he'll make the reception, but it'll be a short gain on the pickup by Chase Holmes.
And right from the snap, it was number 5 outside linebacker Tristan Francis from Central Catholic just sprinting out to where Chase Holmes was to make the tackle.
That taking a lot of time here. I know they have the timeouts. You just don't want to leave Central with much time, but and you still can use Najee. They end up wasting about, 13 seconds there. And then they
they were fortunate because they had an illegal formation where they have 5 guys lined up in the backfield on that play. So it would have not only cost them seconds, but whatever would have happened off the play, that would have come back. The clock would have started again. They would have been back further. They would have lost more time.
Oh, with that. So now all of a sudden you lost your timeout. You're down to 1, 36 seconds left. If you run Najee here, you'll get the chance, if you get the first down, you could spike it if you want, or you still have that 1 timeout. So you can still run the football here.
And it's a risky play if you run him and you try to run up and spike the ball if you don't get it, because then you're sitting on 4th down. I highly doubt that's what we're going to see. But I think you have to, at this point, 2nd down, you have to try to put the ball in the air to get the first down and then come back from that. Then you have your ability to run the ball if you need to. But if they get the first down, they need to quickly get up on the ball and spike it.
So 2nd down and 5, the ball at the 18, 36 seconds left in the opening half. Tranzu takes the shotgun. Now looks to throw, and that one is caught I believe.
Incomplete.
So it bounced out. Great job defensively by Central Catholic, but the ball actually got deflected and almost went into the hands of Assad Brown.
It was Cole Transu looking for Assad Brown, as you said, but the secondary of the Vikings coming up and closing in on that quickly to knock the ball away.
3rd down and 5. One way or the other, Easton wants to come away with some points here. With 31 ticks on the clock, 3 receivers up top. Looking to throw back of the end zone, and that one knocked away. And I believe that's a touchdown. It is. Wow. So coming up with a touchdown some way, somehow, after that got deflected, was Chase Holmes. Take a look.
Yeah, Transu's looking for Alden Freeze, underthrows it a little bit, gets knocked back to Chase Holmes. Central was claiming it hit the ground, but that's not what the officials see. Chase Holmes gets credited with the touchdown.
That was awfully close, though. So that makes it 13-6 with 24 seconds remaining. And then a whistle before the snap.
Well, it's not college or pro, so we're not getting an instant replay.
Yeah, right.
Send the official over to the instant replay booth. I mean, we saw the replay.
And what'd you see, Matt?
I didn't see anything.
Yep.
I'll have to go back and watch it later on tonight.
Extra point. Heinmeyer. And that one is up and that one is through. So with 24 ticks on the clock, it's 14-6 Easton. Again, game changes there a little bit. You're Central Catholic, you're driving, you have the ball at the 8. Interception by Chase Holmes as he returns it about 55 yards to the Central 45. Eventually they score here as Holmes comes up with the touchdown after he gets bobbled and knocked away into his hands. And fortunate for him, but Holmes comes up with his 4th touchdown of the season.
So that, as you stated, that drive started with the Chase Holmes interception down by the goal line, and it finishes with Chase Holmes with the deflection off of Alden Freeze and the Viking defender to catch the touchdown. And as we stated earlier, that was a 14-point swing. Central Catholic going in with a made extra point, looking to go up 13-7, and now they find themselves down 14-6.
Halavic has been sensational on special teams, and if Central wants to do anything here with their 2 timeouts, you would have to get something on the return. This one pops up, fielded at the 10, up to the 20-yard line, up to the 30. Outside they go, and taken down right around the 35-yard line on the return is Jack McGorry, who's been very quiet so far tonight. You mentioned his name, leads the team in receptions. May see a little bit more him, either now if they go for it or in the second half.
I was going to mention that was the first touch McGorry had tonight. It was on a kickoff return. Central Catholic, they need to get him more involved. They can't just be Halavic all the time. They need to get him involved. They need to get Rivera involved. They need to spread that ball around. And this time we're going to look at Jaden Williams in the backfield, number 24. We haven't seen him in a while either.
Well, let's see how Central Catholic plays this one. And it is Williams. And Williams gets taken down at the 40. I don't think Central is going to call a timeout here. They won't. They'll just wind the clock and go into the locker room.
And you had Dominic Falcone, number 22, coming in with the tackle, as well as number 15, Dominic Apgar from his defensive end position.
So we saw a special teams touchdown. Liam Wells with a blocked punt. Zion Jones recovered and went in from about 20. George Halavic had a touchdown reception from Matt Rauscher. And then Chase Holmes on a deflection makes the catch from Transu, 18 yards into the locker room they go. It's 14-6 Easton. Back with more action. Our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
We're back here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. Al Carlo, Matt Evancho, glad to have you on board here for our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. And, you know, a great contest right now, and it's 14-6 in favor of Easton here at the half. And, you know, Matt, we expected a tight game. Well, I'm going to give you credit. You expected a tight game. Again, things can happen in the second half, but right now, for the most part, we've seen a tight game.
We have. And you look at 14-6, and we talk about how we were expecting that tight game and how the defenses were going to struggle against these offenses, and they were going to make the offenses work for everything. It was the defense that turned the game around for Easton so far. They have that interception where they thwarted a drive by Central Catholic. They brought the ball back to the 50. They end up going down on a scoring drive for the touchdown. So that's the biggest turnaround of the game. Other than that, it's been pretty even.
Well, take a look at some halftime numbers. I'll tell you, and Kyle Craig from Lehigh Valley Live taking care of us again as he usually does. Transzoo, 5 of 9, 43 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Adams, 7 carries for 21 yards, and Holmes, 3 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. Talk about Adams right now as they have him covered.
And it's the same thing. It's going to be the same thing week in and week out. We talked about Adams. He has over 1,000 yards rushing so far this season. Well, with that comes a lot of attention. And every defense, starting last week, every defense is going to give you a lot of attention. So you have to know you have to count on the other playmakers to step up. We're starting to see Chase Holmes step up a little bit. 3 catches, as you said, 33 yards. And not only that, he had that interception return back 55 yards to bring him out. But Adams needs to come out second half just like he did last week and just be patient, continue to grind, and continue to follow that offensive line and just continue to push up.
For Matt Rauscher, 10 of 15, a buck 01. He's got a touchdown and the INT. He's got, for Johnson, 4 carries, 12 yards. Alavic has been dynamic. With special teams, aside. How about 6 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown? And Rivera, 3 catches for 30 yards. But Halavic's really been the difference. And Rauscher, they're making things happen there for Central Catholic, but still trying to get those points.
It is, and I think that's going to be the key, getting them their points. And Coach McGorry said that right from the get-go. He needs his offense to score points. 6 points is not going to cut it in this game. They need more, and they have had a very nice hookup between Rauscher and Halavic, and they're just taking what the Easton defense is giving them. They're getting the ball out to Halavic about 5 yards and letting him turn and make some plays and get some extra yardage, and they're just going to keep doing that down the field. They're going to be patient.
Well, Joey's down in the field with Dave Micah to talk about their halftime thoughts. We send it down to Joey Draper of Emmaus. Joey?
Welcome back to the Sidelines. I am Joey Draper alongside Dave Micah. Allentown Central Catholic trailing Easton 14-6. Dave, in the first half, Central Catholic got off to a good start, but then Easton was able to respond. Easton will get the ball to start the second half. How important of a defensive stand is needed from Central Catholic?
Yeah, I think it was a good first half. Easton got the first score on the block punt. Zion Jones scooped up the block punt, went in for the touchdown. It was 7-0, and then later Central Catholic made it 7-6 on a Matt Rauscher to George Havlick touchdown pass. So it was 7-6 for a while, and then Easton got the late touchdown in the second half to kind of open up the lead to 8 points, 14-6. It was a great defensive battle, and I truly think that if Allentown Central Catholic could try to get some turnovers in the second half, create on special teams, it could be a really interesting second half.
Najee Adams, who leads the District 11 with over 1,000 rushing yards on the season, has really not been able to get going so far. How well of a good start did Central's defensive line have?
Well, that was one of the keys the coach said, was that they were going to stack the box, try to slow him down, and make the quarterback beat them. So I think they accomplished that. Again, the late touchdown, which could be the play of the game, where the ACC defender knocked it down, went right in the hands of Holmes for the touchdown.
Offensively for Central Catholic, their quarterback has thrown an interception, and we also have the punt block for a touchdown. Those are 2 key turnovers that have really been the difference. Other than that, Central Catholic could have the lead right now. How do you think in the second half they can regroup from those mistakes and be able to get the lead?
Well, I think you hit it right, that they need to cut the turnovers. If they could cut the turnovers, again, it's only an 8-point game. They're in this game. And if they could create some turnovers, they have a great shot. It's going to be a great second half, 2 really good programs.
This atmosphere here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium has been really good throughout the whole game. Well represented both sides. How good do you think the teams are able to benefit off of the loud crowd noise and the band, as you can most likely hear us right now?
Yeah, I mean, Easton's band is one of the top bands, not only in this area, but in the state, and the fans are getting a great treat.
Lastly, for Easton, their quarterback, Cole Transu, how well do you think his performance in the first half was overall?
I thought his performance was really good, and I think he could take what he did in the first half and bring it into the second half.
Coach Brado said that Cole Transu was able to grow from their comeback win against Emmaus last week. Do you think he's grown even more from the first half performance?
Yeah, I think so, because I think that's going to be key in the second half of this game, but second half of the season for Easton. As he grows and throws and makes those big plays, it's going to open up their running game, because right now teams are stacking 8-9 in the box and trying to stop that Easton running attack.
We are in for a great second half here at J. Bernie Crum Stadium. Easton leading 14-6. Can Najee Adams and the Red Rovers keep it going, or can Central Catholic find a way to come back and win it? Stay tuned. From Dave Micah, I'm Joey Draper. Back up to the booth with Al and Matt.
All right, guys, thanks a lot, and obviously an opportunity for Joey to be part of another one of our live streams. And we've been saying this, these students in the student program here with D11sports.com and what we have done with them with the help of St. Luke's Sports, Medicine, and everyone there has been tremendous. We give them an opportunity to do sidelines. We had Peter Capota today from Allen, Melissa Fatzinger from Allen as well. Next week we'll be at Pocono Mountain West, and just giving them a drive, an opportunity to communicate not only with their peers and their friends, but also to get live experience, and you don't really get that. We're doing it with D11sports.com. We're up to 35 student reporters from 15 different schools across District 11, and if you're interested, if you're a student, if you're a parent that has a son or daughter that's interested in either reporting, broadcasting, journalism, or just getting to be better communicators, tell them to visit the athletic office. They have the forms, and they can join our team. Again, we have 35 student reporters on hand right now. We want to build that portfolio so we can get all the different sports covered, not just football, but we're out there doing field hockey and volleyball and boys and girls soccer, wrestling and basketball in the spring, in the winter. So a lot out there, and you and I have been saying a great opportunity to make this happen.
I mean, you look at that interview down there by Joey. What a fantastic job. That was thorough. He hit every aspect that we would be talking about anyway, so he took our job away from us tonight. But I think it's the big part that not only just the football, but the other sports, it's the media coverage in the Lehigh Valley. It's so hard for them because they only have so many people, but yet there's so many events going on. You just can't get out to cover everything. This is allowing those people coverage to get the media coverage and get out there and people can see what's going on. I think that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, we're excited too. Dave Micah does a great job with our student interns as well, as they deliver their content to us, and we publish their articles on our website, D11sports.com. Check it out. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and, just a great opportunity to get stronger. And, I'm watching right now as Joey Draper's running over to Tim McGorry, and he's getting his halftime thoughts. This is, something good, with Joey Draper down the field as well. So, we may get a little bit more reporting from him, throughout the thing. So we'll take a quick break right now, and we get ready for the second half of action right when we come back here from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. We've got a good one cooking, though. 14-6 your score. Easton on top of Central. Back after this.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
We are back here at J. Bernie Crump Stadium in Allentown, and as quickly as we see the teams make their way onto the field, the teams are going to make their way off of the field because they're seeing lightning in the area, and obviously this is the biggest concern that they have is the safety of the fans. And, you know, because of the safety of the fans, they're going to have to, you know, bring them and get them out of the stadium and then bring them back in here. So there will definitely be a delay in this contest. You know, we'll keep it here for a couple minutes, and then, you know, we'll get back to live action when they resume action. But, Matt, obviously the concern is the safety. And not only that, while we're waiting on this for the safety and we're seeing the fans and, you know, the teams make their way out of the field, obviously the biggest thing is getting them back out here, how long it's going to be. First and foremost, you're looking at a 14-6 game, and that's the thing that you want to be concerned about. By the time you get them back in, we could be looking at least a half an hour to 45-minute delay, I would think.
Well, it's a minimum of 30 minutes, so as soon as they saw the lightning strike, if the officials make that call, they're going to go 30 minutes until they hear no thunder and no lightning. They see no lightning. Once they can do that, then they can bring them back out on the field, but they'll then give them a little bit of time to warm up and get stretched out because they don't want to bring them out cold, especially after sitting in the locker room where they can't do anything. So they'll bring them out, let them get it moving around, let them get loose. And so we're looking at 35, 40 minutes right now.
So that gives time for Dave Micah maybe to do some laps around, and we'll watch him for 35 minutes. Obviously, you know, we'll take you through his scoring here, and then we'll update you a little bit more before we leave you here for a couple minutes because of our safety as well and our crew. R.J. Gisler had a big sack of Matt Rauscher on the opening drive, and then there's a block punt, Liam Wells to Zion Jones. He blocked the punt. Zion Jones had it, recovered it, and went in for the touchdown from 20 yards or so, made it 7-0. Georgia Lavac had a kick return, 62 yards for return to the 28. That led to an 18-yard touchdown from Rauscher to Georgia Lavac, made it 7-6. Jalen Green then had the interception of Cole Transu. Chase Holmes, a 55-yard interception return to the Central 45. Central was down to the Easton 8-yard line, but an 18-yard that led to an 18-yard touchdown. Chase Holmes on the deflection, 14-6 was your score at that point, and then they added, that was at the end of the quarter. Again, you had the ball at the 3-yard line, 8-yard line for Central going in one way. Instead, it goes the other way, so things obviously changed that way. So obviously, you know, the concern right now is the safety of everyone, you know, here at J. Bernie Crump Stadium.
And you talked about that. We always, you know, one of my big things is how you finish the quarter and then how you start the third quarter. So how you finish the half and then come out the next half. And Easton able to get that, thwart that drive, like I said, come down, get points, and then turn around and they get the ball back. They have a very good opportunity to just open this game up for themselves. But they've been struggling offensively against this defense of Central Catholic. So look at this maybe as some time for the coaching staffs on each side to just kind of just tweak out what they wanted to do and then go from there.
Well, with that, we talked to both coaches, and being the 7:30 start, this was their biggest concern. Their biggest concern was the weather and when it was going to come in. They kept saying 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Well, you and I looked towards Dorney Park, and we saw, from the distance, what was there. And right when you see that, they're clearing it. And you're clearing a large crowd out of J. Bernie Crum Stadium. That large crowd's got to come back in, settle in. You said 30 minutes minimum. Before they can get back onto the field. So it's almost like starting the game over, from start. So let's take a quick commercial, and then we'll update you one more time and, kind of keep where we're at. So we're going to take a quick commercial and then come right back with you in a couple minutes here from J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown. It's 14-6 right now in favor of Easton. But be back right after this.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussions seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, Physical Therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussions seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Okay. All right, back here 14-6 at the half, and they never got to the third quarter because of the lightning delay. And right now we've seen lightning in the area. We're expecting this game to be postponed. We don't know that for sure, but we will update you on our Twitter page at D11 Sports. But right now 14-6 is your score. And Matt, final thoughts for you. Really, this was a good game, but this may have to be moved till tomorrow.
If it does get moved to tomorrow, it's going to be important for both teams to get some rest tonight, come back and be ready to get it all out in the field again. Turns out to be a whole new game. 0-0 at the half, coming back out.
All right, from Matt Evancho and everyone here at D11sports.com, Alan DeCarlo saying so long for now. 14-6 at the half, expecting this game to be moved to tomorrow.